looking like this? Tell me, am I looking like this? No, not at all.
Hey, what's going on, you beautiful people? My name's Tie-Dye. I hope you guys had a pretty awesome day today. My day's been pretty awesome so far. So in today's video, what I want to do is bring you guys a tutorial on the Unreal Engine and how to import textures to this as properly as possible. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that you can import your textures, export your textures from other programs, but I find a lot of the times that once you're importing them into Unreal, they all have a bit of a distorted, glossy look to it. Like, things are a little bit more reflective and shiny than they should be, whether you were exporting them from Substance Painter or you made them somewhere else. I find that a lot of the times by default they sort of have this shine which isn't always desired. So I'll show you guys this asset that I'm working with right here. This is kind of just like a hanging bed frame, and when I rotate the light it's very distinct as to what part is rusty and what part is metallic still. As you can see, there's a shine going around the edge there. And as I import this into the Unreal Engine, you'll notice that it's way too glossy and it really isn't keeping this kind of shine that I'm looking for. So I'm going to show you guys how I would normally import it and set up my textures, and then what the problem is and how to get around that, because by default it sort of is a problematic issue that comes up for a lot of people. So I just have a very basic default scene here, and I have my bed frame set up here, so I'm just going to import that right here. And I'm just going to rotate this and get it into position. And my anchor points on the two objects I'm using here are a little off, so excuse that. It is a bit sloppy there, but for this video, it's going to do a pretty good job of explaining how things work here. So here's my bed frame. As you can see, there's no texture on it yet. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to right-click in here and go to Material. I'm going to name this just Bed, I suppose, for now, and we'll double-click on that to open it up. And here I have the editor. So I'm just going to drag in our materials. I don't think we need the height map though, so I'll just get all the other ones other than height. And yeah, we'll just drag those in. So from here what we can do is we can plug in our textures as we normally would. So of course, a base color to base color. Let's see here. This is metallic to metallic. This is normal, of course. And I believe this one is roughness. And as you can see in our little window here, it is very, very shiny. Like if I save this texture and I apply it to the bed frame, you'll start seeing exactly what I'm talking about in a second here, that it is just way, way, way too shiny. So let's see, if I grab the sun, for example, I'm just going to move it over top so it's a bit easier to control here. And I start rotating it, you're going to already see that it is just way too metallic. Like there's too much shine going on. If I compare this, how this looks here, to Substance Painter, as you can clearly see, this is definitely a lot more of a silvery shine to it, and by default we're getting a way, way, way too shiny material here in the Unreal Editor. So there's a couple ways to get around this, and it's pretty simple actually. So the two things that we know that control reflectivity within the texture editor is actually going to be our metallic map and our roughness map. So I'm actually just going to disconnect these by right clicking and going to break links on these two. And we're going to import a couple things here. So I'm going to hold M on my keyboard and click, and we're going to get this little multiplier node, and I'm going to hold 1 on my keyboard and click. And we're just going to get this sort of blank node here. So the way that this is going to work is I'm going to grab my main connector from the metallic tab and put it into A on the multiplier, and then the only sort of connector from this node and put it into B, and then from there we can connect it to where we normally would, which would be the metallic map. And now from here, what this allows us to do is it sort of gives us a bit more control over how metallic things can be. If we click on this little 0 one, we sort of have a value adjuster, so we can bring that up and we can bring that down, and as you can see, it gives us a lot more control with how metal this object comes across. For this, I'm probably just going to keep it on 2 because I know roughness is more or less the problem here. So that's looking pretty good for right now. We'll of course can go back and tweak that, but let's do the same thing for our roughness map. So holding M on our keyboard and clicking, we get our multiplier, and holding 1 on our keyboard and clicking, we get our blank node here. So once again, connect these up, straight across to A and straight across to B, and of course plug this back into roughness. And now as you can see, it's super, super shiny with roughness applied, but we can adjust our value. If we bring it up, as you can see, it's already becoming more rough. If I bring that up to 10, that's looking pretty rough. I think what I want to do though is adjust the metallic amount. Maybe bring that down a little bit. And it's a bunch of tinkering here. So I can adjust this value, bring that down a little bit. That's a little bit too low, bring it up. But as you can see, we can sort of adjust this in real time and get it exactly as close as we want to. So that's looking pretty close right there. So I'm going to save that. And then when we go back into the actual editor, it should be a lot closer. As you can see, there's definitely a lot more debris as far as the rust goes, and we can see it a lot easier. And if I sort of rotate this now, we are getting a bit more of a distinct shine around the edge. Obviously it's not perfect, I would want to tinker with that a lot more, but it is definitely a lot closer to this desired look that we have inside of Substance. Now we export it, so we're definitely getting there, and we can tinker with that a bit more, but for now it's pretty close. But something I want to show you guys is we can also use this technique for objects that actually don't have any roughness maps or anything like that. So if I go back and I import this door object, and as you can see the anchor point is way off on this one. It's because I exported it out of a big scene, and the way that Maya works is the anchor point is actually where the center of the scene is, rather than where the object actually has it. So this door was a little bit off in the scene, off to the side, therefore the anchor point was off to the side as well. So I'm just going to import this, and I'm going to quickly apply the textures to this one. So I'm going to make a new material once again and just name this one door. And I'll double click on that, so now we have that in our editor. And we just have 3 maps for this one, very, very basic setup here. So our AO, our color, and our normal. So normal goes to normal, of course, color to base color, and ambient inclusion to ambient inclusion. And if I save this, you'll see really quickly what I'm talking about when everything sort of gets this shiny look. So I drop this on the door, and if I can just grab my sunlight, wherever I put that, you can already start to get a sense of it being a little shiny. But this is supposed to be a wooden and concrete door, and it has a bit of a shine to everything, which is not what we're going for. It sort of has like a gradient over it, like everything is sort of glossy in a sense, which is totally not the look I'm going for this. So we can do the exact same thing, but essentially make it a little bit more simple. So I'm just going to even just hit 1 on the keyboard and click and get that blank note and just plug this directly into our roughness tab. Just a simple number. And from here we can change the value, and I'm just going to be going off of this material editor. As you can see how shiny it is for something that doesn't even have a roughness map at all, but I can adjust the value on this blank node, and in real time it's becoming more rough. And of course this is going to be applied to the entire material, so say I wanted a certain part to be rough, it's just going to go over everything, which isn't ideal in all cases, but for this example it's perfect. So if I just hit save, and just move this to the side now it's a lot more rough, and if I rotate the light, as you can see, it's really not affecting it that much. It's become a lot more rough. I can even, let's just do an extreme for an example, and bring that up to like 6 or something, where it's just completely rough. As rough as possible, essentially. And as you can see now, it's very, very matte. There's not a trace of any reflectivity anywhere on there. So this is very, very useful if you have an object that you know is going to be super reflective or not reflective at all, and you don't want to go out and bake a map for it or anything like that. Say you're doing some hand painted textures and you need something to be reflective at the same time. This is a very quick way to do that without having to actually export a map. All you have to do is just hold 1 and click, or hold 1 and click and then M and click. Very, very simple. I thought I'd bring you guys this quick tutorial simply because even if you don't make games in the Unreal Editor, like personally I don't myself, but it's honestly a phenomenal real-time renderer, right? Like, there are paid ones. Marmoset is amazing, but you have to pay for it. But as far as free things go, Unreal's incredible for just setting scenes up and just sort of having stuff for your portfolio. So I'd highly recommend downloading this, and this is just a quick little tip for you guys. But anyways, if this did help you out, a like on this video would be great, and feel free to comment any more suggestions you have for videos. I know I've been kind of sparse on videos lately, and that's just because school has just been crazy, but I'm having some really cool projects coming up that I'm going to be doing speed arts of, and I've also been streaming occasionally at night now when I have a little bit of extra homework that I know you guys would like to see and could possibly learn something from. So I do streams of that as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, of course, leave comments of any videos that you want to see in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new here, guys. If you're into 3D art or game development or anything, I'm always posting videos, well, of course not as often as I'd like to after me saying that, but I'm always posting videos a couple times a week, and hopefully more as the time goes on. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name has been Tie-Dye. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.